whether it's big or small, everyone sort of needs to have some statistical knowledge or some data abilities. And an example of this that I think of is from a group called DC Action for Children. They're down in DC, and they're a small nonprofit, 5 people, and their job is to look out for the well-being of children in DC. Not a small task. But it's okay, because it turns out they are touched by tons of data about this. It turns out that the government and local community foundations put out tons of information about child well-being. You can look up economic levels in the district. You can look up where school lunch programs are. You can look at educational performance. So all that data is out there. But if you're a 5-person nonprofit who doesn't have a lot of technical skills, this is just a giant pile of PDFs. This is just a bunch of CSVs. And they're not big, right? I can fit all of them on a hard drive easily. But there's lots of them. It's not even a good idea of where to begin. So one of our main service that we offer at DataKind is connecting people like that with data scientists from Tumblr or Facebook who want to sort of pitch in, do pro bono work. So we teamed them up with some analysts who sat down and, as Bob said, asked, what do you want to answer from this? Don't start from the other side and say, well, we've got data, what do we do with it? What are your problems? You know your mission. You know the situation. We don't. We're very good at looking at data, but I have no idea what the big concerns are for low-income children in DC. So you tell us, and together, we'll tell you what we can do with this. And they iterated in their spare time on a project that resulted in an interactive visualization of child well-being in DC that allowed DC Action for Kids to sort of answer their questions, to drill in to say, what are the biggest indicators of child poverty? Is it food deserts? Is it the fact that they don't have a very engaged parents in the household? They were able to not just sort of answer some of these questions, but they could ask new questions. It was around building a platform that allowed them to look into this data. Whereas previously, they would just take those spreadsheets, turn them into bar charts, and put out a PDF, another 60-page PDF that I'm sure many of you have gotten and probably not read completely through. So it was about making the data accessible. It was about making the data understandable and allowing them to really answer those questions. It's an exciting moment when everyone gets to become an analyst, and it's hard to imagine a profession or a group of people who aren't going to need to have some of that basic competency. I just want to say later, hopefully we do talk about the where to start, because I think that's what most people want to know. It's like, well, great, now what? So I'll leave that for later in the panel, but those are the kinds of things that we're seeing everywhere, and it's just such an exciting time to know that everyone can now start to take advantage of this.
Let me just segue